When I say city, you say pod. City pod, city pod. When I say city, you say pod. City pod, city.
Welcome to the city. It goes down at the city. Tell a friend to turn the city on, city on. We about to get it on, get it on.
Welcome to the city. It goes down at the city. Tell a friend to turn the city on.
You're tuned in to CityPod, where the city speaks.
What if I told you there is more beyond the pulpit? The weight a pastor holds is heavy, days are long, but the passion runs deep. Welcome to CityPod, where we seek to encourage, empower, and educate with a sprinkle of entertainment. My name is Darrell Ashley, and today I am joined by
William Bennett, pastor of City Refuge Ministries.
All right, and today we're kicking off the first episode of CityPod, and with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Pastor William Bennett, who will take us beyond the pulpit as we discuss life, pastoring, and the vision for the church.
To exist.
So let's get into it. Pastor, let's talk about the vision behind CityPod. Why a podcast and why now?
Ah, man, good question, man. I'm glad that we're finally here because this has been a vision of our church for over a year, really. We got into this building, our new facility on Brock Drive, sometime last October 2024. And I mean, we're coming into a building that's almost double the size that we were currently in. So over 40,000 square foot building, a lot of space in the building, man. And so what we really wanted the church to present for our membership was like a kind of just overall experience that you come to the church. Obviously, the main point of coming to the city is to worship God. So you got the sanctuary, you got the worship space, you got that space. But there's so many rooms in the building that we wanted to identify a home, like a place for each particular room, and a space for our members to come in. So like we have a rate room, we have a movie theater. These are all rooms that are still needing to be formed, right? And then from the entry, one of the rooms that our expansion team decided we wanted was a podcast room, right? And so CityPod, here we are today kicking that off, right? Like we finally got that going, and we still got stuff that we still need to do, but we got it enough to be up and running. And so the whole vision of CityPod was to be a place where we can, podcasting is a global thing. You know, millions of people are listening to podcasts. And so we want to take advantage of that space to use it as an opportunity to further proclaim the gospel. Any way that we can continue to take advantage of technology and getting the gospel out, because we are a missional church and our mission is to lead to Jesus, right? Yeah. That's our first stanza in our mission statement is to lead to Jesus. So podcasting is a way that we can, outside of the sanctuary. We're inside, you know, of our church building, but people can hear from outside. So it's a place you don't have to get up and come to, but you can be sitting in your living room, driving, listening to this podcast space where you're going to hear more about Jesus. But it's called CityPod because we're bringing really the church to the podcasting space where all things city will be talked about kind of in this realm.
Nice. So where do you see this going? What are you hoping people gain? Is this something that stays within the quote unquote four walls, or do you want it to expand?
Yeah. So like I said, we want it to really be a multi kind of purpose thing, right? So one, you got the CityPod, but we're looking for all sort of things. Like today we're interviewing me, but like we have teen ministry at the church, we have young adult ministry at the church, we got women's ministry, we got men's ministry. I'm hoping that we get our teens in this podcast space, you know, get Anna, the overseer of that, and have her bring teens, and we do a teen podcast, do a young adult podcast. There's other people like Elder Jones, like he's already has worked within media space. So there are other people in the the church who have gifts and talents, we want this space to be available to them, right? So it's like some people who maybe want to get into podcasting, but maybe they don't have the finances to get the mics and get the equipment. Hey, you come to this church, you remember this church, you have access. It's no different than like going to a gym. You got a membership at the gym. You have access to the different things that are in this space that the gym is providing that you may not actually have at home. So I look for our podcasting space to be something that's available to our church, even available to our community, right? And that's what we have always wanted. Like when we got this building, how can we be a greater service to our membership and to the church? So yeah, we have CityPod, but maybe there's some other people out there that want to do some podcasting too. Yeah. And we can make our space available to them, whether they're in our membership or outside of it.
And that's really good to hear, a church that's really breaking down some of those barriers. So like you mentioned, whether it's financial or just having that access. And of course, there might be some rules and stuff around
it. Yeah, you break it, you pay for it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. The equipment isn't cheap. But no, that's really good to hear that, a church is starting to think in those ways.
Yeah, for sure.
And, as we started thinking about the church, you are a pastor. And a lot of these times, that might be what people's first impression of you are. But what would you want people to know who are meeting you for the first time? This is their introduction to William Bennett. Yeah. What would you want people to know?
Man. So I'm going to say born and raised in Bloomington. Born and raised in Bloomington, Normal, right? And I say that to just say like, if people are getting to know me for the first time, knowing me as a pastor, that I'm not a Johnny-come-lately to the community. Like I've been here all my life, right? So I'm invested in the community, and I have that same, testimony in a sense in regards to the church, because I'm born and raised in the church. My mother founded the church in 1976. I'm born in 1981, so I've been here and part of this church, invested in church. So as a pastor, I want people to know that I'm committed to both our community. I love this place. I'm raising my family in this place. I'm invested in the people, not just in that go to City Refuge, but I'm invested in community. One thing, if you know about me, I'm very community oriented, and our church is as well. That's because, I believe that as someone who feels called, right, to church and to community, that, I need to serve the place that God has planted me. Yeah. Same thing for the church, just been here all my life, man, been in this ministry. So not just invested in it from a sense of my father, founding the church, but invested in it. I grew up with a lot of these people who I now serve as their pastor, knowing that the church is a place where people can come to heal, to be delivered of different things, just invested in that, man. So I'm a very committed and invested person in the work that I believe God has called me to. But just on a more personal level, I'm a family man. I've been married for it'll be 23 years in this upcoming year of 2026, Jordan year, 23 years. I got 4 children, 4 beautiful, wonderful kids, man. So I'm definitely a family man. I love my family. I love God's people. And, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. That's who I am, man. I no bones about it. I love God. I love the gospel. Saved Christian. Just some maybe funny stuff. I'm a movie buff. Okay. I love movies. I love like old school black and white movies. So Twilight Zone, 12 Angry Man, the original version, black and white version. So these type of things, man. So just laid back, man. Don't try to take things too serious other than my faith in the gospel. But those would just be a few things I would want people to kind of know about me.
Okay, that's really cool. And I'm going to backstep a couple things. I want to unpack. So you're the son of not just a preacher, but preachers. And so I want to go into that a little bit because, there are like certain stereotypes around being a PK or preacher kids for those who are not familiar with the term. How was that growing up being the son of 2 preachers who started this church? Did you feel like there were certain things you couldn't do? Did you feel like your childhood maybe wasn't as a quote unquote normal? Like, how was that for you?
Yep. Mom and dad definitely faith leaders, definitely preachers of the gospel. But no, man, I would say I think God blessed me with the greatest father and mother that to ever exist. Father went home to be with the Lord in 2003. So I didn't get as much time as I would have wanted with him. But in the time that God gave me, just my hero, right? And so growing up, I think my mother and father did an awesome job to where I would say I don't fit many of the stereotypes. Neither do I think my brother fits many of the stereotypes that you might get with the whole kind of PK thing.
Yeah.
Meaning, I didn't really feel the pressure of that in my home. Now, I knew I was in the home of faith leaders, right? Like and the beauty, I think, now as a grown adult is that what we got at church is what we pretty much got at home. Like we were having Bible studies at home, Bibles at the crib, hey, have y'all read your Bible verse today?
Yeah.
Praying before we eat. Like everything was about God. Everything was about Bible. And then we in a different time when I grew up. Because when I grew up, we was at church every day. And so we knew we were a believing home, a Christian home. And I knew my father was a pastor, in that sense of keeping Christ before us, keeping God before us, setting that foundation. But they allowed us to do other things, right? So we didn't feel restricted in the sense like because we were PKs that we couldn't also be basketball players. So we played sports, since junior high. We played on the basketball team. We went to the parks. We had friends. We were able to stay at other friends' homes and first stay at our homes. Now we couldn't do it with that. Back then, the parents called parents like, hey, is they coming over? Where you let them go? They got to know each other and stuff like that. And a lot of the people we would stay with and be friends with were already going to the church. But it was, if you're going to play basketball, cool, but you're going to come to church.
Right.
If you're going to go to the school homecoming, you're going to church.
I'm not going to get too hung up on the preacher kid thing, but I do notice that you love music.
Yeah.
Like very deeply. And so I always like asking people who grew up in the church and like the church was very foundational. When was the first time you was able to listen to secular music or music outside of gospel?
See, that's a tricky question because I don't know if you said first time aloud or first time I did without my parents knowing. So that's a different story. So I don't know, man. So growing up in a house, yes, of course we were a gospel music driven house. So the Winings Commission, this is when we had the this is when we had the record players.
Oh yeah.
Right? I used to love the record players. But here's the interesting thing. My mom and dad wasn't the type that like didn't allow other non-gospel music in the house. So I remember on them same record players, us having Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror. And, Bad album on there. Or The Temptations. I remember my mom loved Gladys Knight. And then my dad loved The Temptations, right? So that's why I'm old school like that. And my groups is like The Temptations. My daughter Braylee is old school like that. She loved The Temptations, the OJs, these types of things. So we weren't really the home that couldn't listen to non-gospel. However, we were the home where they weren't letting any type of non-gospel come up in the crib. Like we wasn't going to be listening to hardcore rap. We wasn't going to be listening to cursing. We wasn't going to be listening to over sexual types of stuff in the house. But they allow other music. So we never grew up in that house to where like we weren't a legalist type of home where it's like the only thing you could have in here is gospel music. So I think from a young age we understood the difference that there were some things we could listen to. That weren't necessarily gospel-oriented music, but was still okay for us to listen to.
Because definitely show on Sundays, I'm like, especially when you jump in, you feeling something, like, nah, praise team, come on back.
One of the praise team gonna know I'm a remix, so they gotta be ready. And I often look over at Alana, I see her, man, I'll be sitting down. As soon as if Sean or Adam, if they see me in my chair doing this, before I go up, they know he thinking about something, he about to do something. And then Alana, she give me this, like, Pastor, don't do it. Don't do it, Pastor. Because, I might come up there and just start singing anything. But that's, I love music, man. It's something I love to do. And my pastime is just some, I believe, it's a gift. I don't necessarily have like the gift to sing, but just to do music, to make songs, to write songs, all that type of stuff I like to do.
I mean, it sounds good. And that's good because it also showed, again, that connection with the ministry.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, you do it well.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And so speaking of it, we're going to go into the pulpit. So you've been pastoring 18 years?
Yeah.
18 years in the game. That's big.
Yeah.
And so from what I can imagine, there got to be a lot of ups and downs. Like there's a certain mask that, you have to wear, when you're up there, you're doing your thing, you're preaching and teaching and you do it very well.
Thank you, man.
But what are some times of maybe frustration that people don't see that a pastor might endure or go through or have to handle when you have to be so strong and just show everyone that you are okay and everything seems good?
Yeah. Yeah, pastoring definitely has its ups and downs, man. I would say more ups than downs. I don't want to make it sound like pastoring is misery.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It's ministry. But in ministry, there is frustration. In ministry, there is heartbreak. In ministry, there is betrayal. And we can just look to Jesus for that, right? Like Jesus is our chief shepherd. Yeah. And we are these little shepherds down here doing our best to be the hands and feet and mouthpiece of Christ's work and ministering the gospel and giving out his testimony so that people come to him. But it's also our job to look to him for how to lead. And so when you see how Jesus lead, he led humbly. He served those he led. But when you look at what he went through, I mean, come on, Jesus had disciples who walked away from him, wanted to say, hey, this is a hard thing you're saying. So they walked away. They didn't want to be accountable. Right. You had people that betrayed him. You had people that denied him. You had those who he loved, some that he served, crying out, crucify him. Yeah. So you got a lot of things how many times in ministry were they trying to kill him? And he's like, for which of these works that I've done are you trying to own me for, And so when you look at that, you look at that just from a pastoral standpoint to understand that frustrations, hurts, and pains are part of the ministry. Yeah. It's not just getting up on Sunday preaching and teaching.
So I definitely want to thank you for being here. Sure. Thank you for allowing me to interview you. Yeah. So I hope this podcast blesses someone in a different way. I will tell our listeners and viewers to stay tuned. This is the first of many. So subscribe, share the podcast with a friend, and you might be on the podcast one of these days next. Peace out.
That was CityPod, Part 2, coming soon.